Stand today or what?
We'll see.
All right, well, today we had a 10-10-10, no pads, more mental for the guys, more mental reps, which was great. There was a few mistakes there offensively where you can see the ball on the ground, and in 10-10-10 periods with 50-50 balls, we really wanted to be the offense wins in those, and then when it's defense period, they win. And so a little sloppy there, but some of that, to tell you the truth, is a little bit expected. We're in the middle of it right now, and I think everybody, without saying it, is ready for some for a new challenge in regards to the preseason and being able to play Baltimore.
Hey Matt, that said, what are you looking at as far as starters playing?
So tonight we're gonna talk to the players and the coaches and fill them in. We have our plan pretty much set, but I want to talk to the players first before we put it out publicly.
Matt, regarding your defense, how do you evaluate some of these guys like Eddie Goldman? How is he progressing? I think he's in his fourth year now. What are your thoughts on him?
Well, so Eddie's one of those guys where he's not a very vocal guy. Per se, but he does his speaking with his play on the field, and so sometimes those guys can you feel like you don't see them too much, or out of sight, out of mind, but they're there. They make plays, and he's a great leader by his actions, and we're just really glad that where he's at right now with this team and having that experience is very valuable.
Matt, with this being a national game, the first game of the year, is there any obligation to play your starters or to do
Again, I mean, that's I think that's per team on what they want to do. Everybody's going to have a different opinion as to which direction they want to go, and we'll have ours tonight.
Because you play in 5 games, doesn't it make a difference too, how you decide what to do in game 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5?
I think it does. You know, when you have that extra game, the benefit is it gives you more reps for your players. The negative is there's health risks, right? So people can get hurt. So there's a fine balance of both of those, and being able to understand which way you want to go. And right now, I feel like our plan as a coaching staff for who we want to play and don't want to play, I feel really good about it.
Man, for all the good you've done and so far at campus, so we got, frankly, a lot of people still don't know how good a coach you'll be on Sunday.
Yeah.
As a game like this, how much of a challenge do you think that is? How much of an unknown is that in your mind, and how much is the preseason going to help you in that regard?
Well, considering the fact that you don't really do any game planning at all, pretty much the whole preseason, maybe one game in there you sneak in a game plan, but this has nothing to do with coaching. Now, there's a test for all of us coaches as to how we want to go about it, especially for me with time management, game management, how you want to do that stuff. But as far as schemes and game planning, and this is about the players and letting them play so they can show off their talents to us, so we know who we want to keep and don't want to keep.
The Bears have that extra.
Sorry.
The Bears have that extra preseason game on Thursday with the Hall of Fame game. So to some extent, you're a little ahead of the curve versus other teams in training camp. At what point are you concerned about Roquan's holdout and him being ready for Week 1?
Yeah, so the biggest thing with any player, regardless of who you are, is you lose valuable reps, which is stating the obvious. And then there's teaching that goes on as well. So regardless of who you are, that's just the situation that we happen to be in right now, and we understand that. He understands that, and again, regardless of who you are, you want to be able to get those reps really out on the field more than anything.
With him being the final first rounder not to be signed, is the situation at a stalemate?
No, I mean well, I think it is at a stalemate, but at the same time, I'm not going to get into really any more where it's at publicly. I don't think it's fair to him. I don't think it's fair to his agent. I don't think it's fair to our organization. We're going to keep it between us, and I think that's the best thing to do right now.
And I know the NFLPA and the league are still working out the national anthem policy, but since you guys are playing in 2 days, how are you going to handle that?
So we're in the middle of that as well. So we've had the players get together. They've done some talking. Myself with some of the guys, and so just like all this other stuff, we have a plan, and we're literally in the middle of that right now, and we'll get to that in really the next day. We'll finalize that, but I feel really, really good with where we're at. I feel comfortable, and I know this: whatever we do, we're going to do it together.
Will that decision be made all the way from the top down, including everybody?
Yeah, it's everybody. It's collectively. That's how we do things around here, and I think that's the best way. Me personally, that's my opinion, and I know everybody else feels that way, and that's what makes it really easy for so many of us to understand that and feel good. I mean, we talk about a family type atmosphere in this organization, and I think you'll see that.
Well, you've seen a lot of the animosity that's happened about this whole thing, all across the country and everything. Personally, how do you feel? How does Matt Nagy feel about all this?
Well, I tell everybody has their own opinion, and specifically, everybody is right and everybody is somewhat wrong. I mean, there's no correct answer, but I think as long as you talk it through and you do it peacefully and you understand that and you realize that what is out there, and as long as you recognize that, you talk it through and you try to help out. So I feel really good with where we're at. I feel good myself, and then again, I think if you talk to a lot of the coaches, they're not putting it aside, but we have a responsibility with this team right now, and we're trying to get this team right to win football games. And so right now, with all due respect, that's what really we're focused on.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How you doing? How good to see you? How are you? Awesome. Hey. You doing it? All right, I got a million questions for you. Tell me about your day.
It's been wonderful, thank you.
Tell me about the weather here.
It's great.
Yeah.
Sam, how's it going out there?
It's going great. It's going great. We're excited for Thursday. It's crazy that the season is already upon us, so it's cool, man. We have a cool team. We have an interesting team. We have so many. It's a different dynamic this year. Obviously, different coaching staff, different players, a different mindset, a different focus. And I think you all see it. I know we feel it. And I'm excited for the world to see it on Thursday.
Does that also create for a different attitude as opposed to the attitude of last year's team?
Well, it definitely does. I mean, you got to. Coach Nagy has this aura about him where he has this contagious just belief. And obviously this is my 4th year with the Bears, so it's easy to talk about things. People want to see action. And so I think the best thing to do is to wait till Thursday, see the action. But it's just hard to not speak on the kind of man he is, kind of leader he is, and the kind of attitude and the belief and just the power that he brings to our team. He doesn't let anything slide. He is strict, but he's loving. He's like a good dad. I don't know if y'all had good dads. I know I had a good dad. He's strict, but he loves you and he cares for you. And it's hard, and it's going to be hard. You know it's going to be hard. We got this thing called long drive drill, like a 14, 16-play drive, no water breaks, but we know it's going to pay off. And so that's what I love about Coach.
As a union rep, what is your take? What does the union take? What's going on with Clem Smith, especially with the helmet rule?
Yeah, so as far as Roquan goes, I'm excited for him. I actually went and looked through a lot of the contracts that the rookies have been getting. The first-round picks are mostly fully guaranteed, so that's exciting for me as a rep to see that players getting guaranteed money, right? You go out here, you get injured, now all of a sudden you don't have any – your livelihood is done and you don't get paid. So I'm excited about that. Obviously, the helmet rule is going to be difficult. I think it's going to be a judgment call for a lot of the referees. How are you going to be able to call somebody goes in with their shoulder but their head is up? Is it a call? Their head's down? Is it a call? I think there will be – the NFL and the referees will use the preseason as a time just to figure out how we're going to make these calls. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. As far as Roquan goes, I'm excited for whenever he gets here. I understand that we're in the Hall of Fame game. So we start training camp a week and a half earlier than everybody else. And so some teams are starting today and yesterday. And so, I mean, yeah, you know, we miss him, but we don't miss him too much.
Have you talked to him at all, Sam?
I haven't talked to him yet. I'm excited for when he gets out here. I'm going to let him use this time to do his thing and to figure out what he needs to figure out. But he can take his time, man. I got his back regardless. I think everybody on the team does. I can speak for everyone on the team when I say that.
As a Bears linebacker, can you talk about the legacy that Brian Urlacher means to this team, and the fact that you're playing the Hall of Fame game and he's going in on Saturday? Yeah,
well, funny enough, my first week in Chicago, I was going to Chipotle, and they need to pay me for saying that, really. And I was going in line to order my food, and I see this guy, kind of a bigger guy, had a hat on, tried to be a little discreet. I'm like, man, that looks like Brian Urlacher, right? And I didn't even go to say hi to him because in my mind, like, that's Brian Urlacher, right? Like, that's a different level. But as far as tomorrow, we're going to the Hall of Fame game. I'm going to get a chance to actually talk to him and tell him about the Chipotle experience where I was dodging him. And I'm going to ask him questions, man. I mean, that dude was and is great. He's the epitome of what it means to play not only linebacker, but to play football at the highest level. He's smart, he's fast, he's physical. He never had lulls. If you just watch his game, he never had lulls. He was an just unstoppable leader of the team. And that's somebody who I definitely look up to. So I'm pumped to talk to him tomorrow or even on Thursday and just get some tips on how to be great.
Sam, where's your comfort level at with what the team's going to do for the national anthem on Thursday?
I'm really comfortable. I mean, obviously, kind of my approach is like God's in control of all this stuff, right? Like these are big issues. Like these are really important issues. But I mean, I just talked to somebody who lost his wife. You know what I mean? Like there's some serious issues going on in this world: death, despair, sadness, grief. And so I'm confident that whatever comes out on Thursday, that whatever we do as a team, once again, we're going to do it together. I'm confident that we're going to make substantive and significant change in Chicago. That's my goal. If you ask me, like, I want to see the whole city of Chicago changed. I want to see the reputation of Chicago changed. And I'm confident that we as a team are going to be a big catalyst behind that. Not just the players, I'm talking about the ownership as well. I've talked with George McCaskey. I think y'all know about our relationship. I talked to him a couple days ago, and he's behind what we do. He's behind making change in this city. He's been to the nonprofit organizations on the south side and the west side. They call it Heroin Highway. He's been there. He's been to the prisons in Chicago and other places. He's been there. He's seen despair. I've seen despair. He's seen grief. I've seen grief. And I think at the end of the day, we're here to fight against that. I think that's what this is all about. If you ask me, I think y'all are asking me, right? We're here to fight with our full will and power against that doubt and despair and grief, and to fight and bring joy and passion and power specifically to the people of Chicago, because the city is in despair. And I think, once again, y'all are asking me, so I think that we can do that by not only being in the community, but also by winning games. I mean, I've talked to cops and I've talked to gangbangers, and they both have said, man, when y'all win games, we talk about the Bears. Like, they're not fighting anymore. They're having conversations. I've had these convos with these people, right? And so I believe that by winning games, by changing the culture of this team, by being in the community, grassroots, feet in the ground, hands dirty, I believe that we'll see the change that we finally want to see in this city.
How do you balance, though, the idea of doing it as a team, everyone deciding, versus what if there's a couple players who feel strongly and want to be in the locker room, what have you?
Yeah.
How do you balance that out?
It's really hard. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, it's really, really hard. And it could be confusing at times on how do you find an answer, how do you get a solution? Because not everyone has the same beliefs. Not everyone has the same experiences. Not everyone has the same skin color. Not everybody has the same religious background. Not everybody has the same sexual orientation. We come from so many different backgrounds and different experiences, and so it's going to be hard to try and figure out one solution that fits everyone. But the great thing about a team is that when you do something for your brothers, you're doing it for yourself. And so even if you don't believe wholeheartedly in some issue, you believe in your teammates. So you do it for your teammates. Even if you don't agree or you haven't experienced some pain that someone else has experienced, you believe in them, and so you do it for them. You cry with them. I've cried with these guys, man. Like, I've shed tears with these guys. I've been places with these guys. I've done life with these guys. And so it's going to be hard to try and figure out one solution that fits everyone. But I think the beauty of it is that when you come together and you put your own, I'll call them selfish desires behind you, and you say, I'm going to do it for the betterment of the team, I think that's when real growth and real change happens.
Sam, considering the issues of the day, do you guys get together in small groups or medium-sized groups or whatever, and just as men, not as football players or anything else, but just as men, talk about some of these issues that do affect our country?
We do.
And what happens in those meetings?
Definitely, we do get together as a team. So we're, especially in training camp, like that's a time where we wake up at 6:30. We're not done until 9:30 at night, and so we're around each other all the time. And there's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of time to talk, to laugh, to joke, but also to try and figure out some answers, right? And to learn about each other's experiences. I was talking to some guys this morning about my dad, right? I had a dad, my parents were married for 30-something years, and I'm going through this stage of learning how to kind of do things on my own a little bit, right? Growing up, got a wife, got kids, got family, and there are some struggles with that. Talking to my other teammates who didn't have dads. One of the guys hadn't seen his dad since he was 3. So we talk about those issues. Another guy, his dad just came into his life when he was in the 11th grade. And so we talk about issues of fatherlessness in America. We talk about things that make us laugh, things that bring us joy. We talk about, what this anthem issue really is about. We talk about ways we can go and make change. Talk about small groups. We're in small groups talking, man, what can we do? How much money can we give? Right? The NFL has this mandate, if you will, that if players give $250,000, they'll match it. The team will match it. We're saying, man, how can we max that out? Those are the conversations that we have as a team.
Sam, last year you guys, during the anthem, stood as a team along the line. Everybody was out there. Is that what you're going to do again?
I don't know. I really don't know. I can't tell you.
Why would you?
I mean, you're looking at me for a better answer.
Why would you guys consider deviating from that?
Deviating from what?
From procedure. Everybody standing out there on the line and standing for it and being out of the line.
Oh, and being out?
Yeah.
Oh, well, different people have different opinions. Different people, we talked about it earlier, different people have different beliefs. Some people believe in protesting and some people don't. Some people believe in First Amendment rights and some people don't. And so,
on this team, they don't?
I mean, in the world, in general. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome, thanks.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Sam.
Who the Cubs trading for? Very important.
They don't need to trade.
They got it.
Hey, you first?
Yeah, sure. What are your impressions of Roquan's absence? How much is he missing? How much does this set you guys back as a defense to not be, with the 8th overall pick?
Well, obviously it's not advantageous to anybody that he's not here, and I'll just leave it at that. Talk to Ryan and his salary cap guys about that.
But at this point, are you concerned about his readiness for week 1?
I'm always concerned about everything, but you know, great ones adjust, and we'll adjust.
What did you like about
looking going into this game this week?
We're doing fine. You know, we're missing guys, which is always a negative. You know, we don't have Roquan, we don't have Danny, we don't have Lynch. Leonard's fighting through his recuperation. You know, those are the things we don't like. But overall, it's been good.
Vic, it seems like you always put a big emphasis on turnovers, takeaways, but Prince seems like he's intercepting a lot more passes this year.
He has.
What's the difference with him?
I don't know. He said he wanted to get 10 interceptions, so I guess he's trying to practice it. But he has had more picks and has played better, and I like the way he's looked in practice.
Anything about his technique or anything?
His technique's improved. His football knowledge has improved, being here in second year. They didn't like him in New York. Jacksonville didn't like him. We're glad we have him.
Vic, what impression did Roquan leave with you in the OTAs and minicamp?
In regards to
as a player, and
you know, I think he's has the potential to be a good player, really good player.
How long do you think it should take a rookie to get ready in camp? If he's got a month, for example, hypothetically, is that enough?
Like I said, love to have him here the first day, but we'll adapt and adjust and get him ready.
Ryan mentioned his football IQ. Were you just in those practices able to see a little bit of that in the spring?
Yeah, he's got good instincts for the position, understands the game, and that's always a good place to start.
What have you liked about how Nick has kind of filled in?
Nick's done fine. You know, this is Nick's third year here, and you know, he lost most of his training camp, his rookie year, through an injury. And I think Nick's made nice progressions, and we like where he's at.
What do you want to accomplish Thursday? What do you want to see from this defense?
Well, to me, the preseason is all about, and training camp, about preparing your team for the season. And part of preparing your team for the season is make sure you pick the right 53 guys. So we're heavy in the evaluation into this game, more so than evaluating scheme. So we want to see these guys play, see how they do, and then repeat that the next week and get this team ready for the regular season.
How do you think this new rule prohibiting contact initiated by the helmet, how do you think that's going to affect play?
It'll be interesting. You know, because I think what's been lost in it a little bit, it's offense and defense. And, you know, we had a live drill out here a couple days ago, and I saw a few on the offense that could have been called. I think it's going to be an extremely hard play to officiate, other than the super obvious. We'll see. We don't know.
How confident are you in your safeties, your young starting safeties taking another step this year? I know Adrian kind of came on last year, and then obviously Eddie with going from year one to year two.
They always should be able to improve from one year to the next, especially younger players, and I'm confident that will happen. Needs to happen. We need more interceptions and more production out of the secondary.
Vic, is there enough time in the preseason training camp to make it for coaching to make a difference in conditioning players to get out of that habit of lowering their helmet to make a hit? In other words, is there any way to coach it?
We've been coaching it, and I've been talking about it a lot in the meetings. We have video that we show them in the meetings, but you know, we don't do a lot of live stuff out here, and I don't think most teams do. So the answer to your question is we're trying hard, but until they get put in game action or live action, I don't think we'll know the answer to that. But we have been making them fully aware of it.
What's the balance then? What's the balance then between letting a player play freely, you know, fast, unencumbered by this, you know, thought that either they're going to be penalized or fined or ejected, anything like that?
I've shown them plays where I think we can definitely adjust. I think there are some plays that will be hard to adjust, and we just have to keep working on it. You know, one of the most non-football rules ever put into football was the 5-yard illegal contact rule. I mean, if coaches from the 60s rose from the dead today, they would want to go back in their grave with that rule. Okay, and we've adjusted. So I think they'll eventually adjust. I don't know how it's going to look early. Traditionally, with these types of rules, though you might see more flags in the preseason. But I really do think it's going to be a hard rule to officiate.
I was going to say, is it hard to change muscle memory on anything like
that? It is. But we're trying to make them aware of it, and they are aware of it. And I think there are some ones that have happened in the past that we can eliminate. I just don't know that we can eliminate them all.
How pleased are you with the pass rushing? Is that something we can really only evaluate in games just because you can't really finish out here?
Yeah. You can evaluate in pass rush drills because we're allowed to finish there. In practice, we're very conscious of not getting close to the quarterback, so you really can't finish there. So the answer to your question is, yeah, I mean, live action's always the best in everything. But, so we'll have to see.
Do you like what you've seen so far, though?
Incomplete.
How did you evaluate Adrian Amos' season last year? What did he do well and where did he
He improved. Obviously, he was involved in, I think, 3 takeaways, 3 or 4, where either he ripped the ball out and he caught that tip against Baltimore and ran it back for the touchdown. Those were plays that he hadn't made in the past that were nice to be seen. He still has a lot of improvement he needs to make, and it's in subtle things that you guys and girls won't really notice, and even personnel guys and some coaches really don't even notice that are here. He needs to improve on those.
Vic, do you have any, Vic, given the, we talked about the uncertainty about how this helmet rule is going to play out. Do you understand why agents and players might be concerned about what effect it will have on them?
I'm not going to give you a line that you're going to print.
Do you think it's good for the game?
I think everything to improve the safety of the game is good. I really do. And I think the motives behind the rule are good. I'm just not sure in some cases if it's.
So it's like 220.
Can you see me over the microphone? I'm not very tall. All right, fire away.
Chris, how important is this first preseason game going to be for your evaluations of special teams?
Oh, it's going to be huge. I mean, because obviously I'm at the end of practice right now, and sometimes you can't get the full tempo all the time what you want. I'm going to be able to see guys really for what they are. I have an idea, but their tape's going to tell me maybe if I need to move them to a different spot and those type of things. So I'm excited about it.
You guys, with the opening kickoff, it'll be the first time anybody's played it that way. Do you have a sense of what it's going to be like? Is it going to be like a punt? Is it going to be its own thing?
I have a sense for it. Do I think it'll be like a punt? In some ways, there's going to be a lot more, I think, single blocks, and it's going to put stress on those guys. But I also think that some of the kickoff return principles that were in the past will still also be the same. I'm excited to see it because you really have no idea what return schemes that you'll see, and since us and the Ravens will be the first ones to kind of start piecing it together.
What's that balance for you with the new rule? Because you got to experiment with it, but you also want to probably keep some things under wraps for the regular season as well.
No, you do, but at the same time, I still got to get guys evaluated. Can I block in open space? How do I run? How do I flip? Will I play physical and all those things? I got to get that evaluated. So. Even though it might be some of the things that we'll do in the season, it's still an evaluation tool.
Don't you guys have some old Senior Bowl tape that you think might help you
there? We did it. I was part of that. I want to honestly say not really. Okay. I don't see it coming into play. I think this is what we've done in practice is a work in progress, and I think once we go to the game here, that'll also be a work in progress.
This unit was hurt by a lot of penalties last year, especially on some big returns. I know it's a problem in general in special teams, but is there a way to avoid it, to coach it? Is there anything you can do to, avoid?
No, you got to be sound fundamentally. You coach those things, you talk those things, and obviously you have to sometimes figure out how it's also being officiated. Mm-hmm. In basketball, for example, are they calling hand checking, or can I put my hand on the guy? And you have to figure those things out. Are they going to let me be a little bit more aggressive as a blocker, or are they calling it really tight? But no, we want to avoid the penalties. We want to have big returns. So we're working on it right now.
Chris, is there any difference between the Cody Parkey you knew when you first came in the league and the guy you're seeing now?
Oh, I'd say so. I think that he's obviously continued to mature each and every year. He has a distinct routine. He knows that if he misses one, he knows how to fix it. He knows right where to go to. He has a good plan about how many footballs he should kick each and every day. I have a lot of confidence in him. He's striking the ball really well right now, and I mean, I did tell him it's only July 31st. We still have some time to get him fresh for game one, but he's doing a nice job.
Is there anything special you need to tell you guys in the wake of this helmet?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a huge emphasis, and you know, keeping the head up. I mean, that's the main thing, and that's what the officials told us. And we're going to have to change a little bit as we go throughout the year, and as penalties arise from that play. You know, I think it'll just be teach tape for us and what they can and cannot do.
Do you imagine the league will want to give you a lot of teach tape in the preseason?
Oh, I think so. I think they always do, and that's all part of it. And so sometimes there are more penalties in the preseason, so that obviously officials are looking at it, and then we're looking at it, and then teaching the players, so you have a cleaner product come the regular season.
At this point in the year, when you have so many undrafted rookies, guys who are here who want to play special teams, how much of getting on special teams is the desire to play it at this point?
That's huge. I mean, our philosophy here in Chicago is this. I told them the first day, I mean, I want them to make our team. I mean, there's 90 guys out here, but it's going to go down to 53. And I want them to make our team. If they don't make our team, I want them to make someone else's team. And so it's important for them to do well in special teams. So when they go out and play on Thursday night, they put good tape out there. That's their resume. What you did in college, it makes no difference. It's what you do now. And it's our job to prepare them to do that so they have a good chance.
Tobe was a great salesman in that regard of convincing guys, you know, like Corey Graham and stuff. That it was. Have you learned from that? And is that something where you feel like you really have to be good at in order to develop a good special teams unit?
No question. I mean, I think there has to be. You have to have guys in your room that want to play special teams. I think that also as a coach, you have to foster that, and they want to play for you and do those things. Obviously, Coach Tobe did a great job of that, and I think we're developing that culture. I like our room. I like the guys that we have in there, and we're continuing to grow together as they learn our system and kind of the intricacies of it. But we just got to keep molding that. That's still a work in progress.
You were around Urlacher during your first time here.
Yeah.
What made him Hall of Fame?
First ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, special. Obviously, Brian is one of the great ones, and so happy for him and his family that he's going in, and lucky that we're going to be there to experience that. So obviously size, speed, intelligence, but more importantly, a great person. And I mean, he's a Hall of Fame player, but he's a Hall of Fame person.
Did you ever want to use him? You ever asked to return punts?
No, but I'm sure Lack could if he wanted.
Do you have an update on the punter competition?
Still going. Still going.
What makes Sheriff McManus such a valuable special teams player, McManus?
Well, you know, he's obviously done it a long time, so he has a lot of skins on the wall, so to speak. You know, and he knows all the intricacies of everything and how to play at the gunner spot and the corner safety, and he can do a lot of things. But he's just a guy that just kind of keeps battling all the time, and he's a good guy for our young players to study. I'm excited to get him back. You know, he hasn't really been able to go yet, so I'm anxious when he comes back to see where he's at. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.